All right, thanks, Elizabeth. Hey, fix your food stamp policy or lose funding. That's what the federal government is telling the state of Maine for requiring food stamp applicants to have their photos taken in order to receive an EBT card. The government is now warning that the policy raises significant civil rights concerns. Here to weigh in is Jillian Melicourt, a reporter for the National Review. Jillian, what's the problem here?
So I think basically Maine has been the most aggressive state in the nation for welfare reform. This is part of that package, and it runs very contrary to the federal trend where we've seen just this massive growth in benefits. I think this is not really about photo IDs. I think it's about curbing in Maine, because if Maine's successful with welfare reform, other states are sure to follow suit. Welfare
reform that President Clinton pushed forward with the help from the Republican Congress. So looking at some of these stats here, Maine feels as though they're spending too much money, maybe too many ineligible people are using food stamps, so they're requiring ID, and now there's pushback from the government. It seems like we should be on the same page.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've already got New York and Massachusetts have photo ID requirements on EBT cards, so that kind of undermines the federal government's whole case here. It's a huge problem in Maine. I mean, you've got $3.7 million a year wasted on public benefits fraud. I think this is a common sense measure that really helps cut back on that.
All right, here's a statement, too, on this, about the programming and how they're jeopardized. Here's the quote. Any individual who applies for a SNAP card on behalf of eligible household members must be able to access the program without fear. Without fear of proving that you're an American citizen.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of liberals have said that this is a problem because somebody who might be disabled or elderly can't go out and get benefits. But Maine's done this in a really smart way. There are even carve-outs against that if you are elderly or disabled, you can have somebody else go out and do it. So I think this is not really about EBT photo ID. I think it's about the federal government being intimidated by what the state of Maine is doing.
And what do you think the Republican governor will do there?
Well, I think he's been really aggressive, and he's got a strong point to stand on. I mean, this is a guy who was homeless in his youth. He really understands what it's like to be poor, and he's coupled it with really aggressive to get people into jobs, get them self-sufficient.
And real quick, how do you think it's going to play out?
I think it's going to pan out great. This last election was a referendum in Maine on welfare reform. He won. I think it's pretty exciting stuff.
All right, Jillian, we take a quick break from Ferguson to find out what's happening with our entitlements. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, coming up straight ahead.